Welcome to 3 Live Stream, and we are IDW. Next to me, I got the man who just wants a liter of cola. Meow. Ramrod. Down below me is the king of lore, Briag 45. If you didn't know, now you do. This issue is number 20 in the continuity of 427 publications. Alright, IDW, let's fire this sumbitch up.
All right, Transformers Monstrosity, issue number 9. This is the cover.
IDW does have some really amazing artwork for sure.
All right. As we can see here, previously, Scorponok blew up the Taraxis refinery, and then underneath they found that there was this unstable energon that drove bots mad when they got in contact with it. While they were discussing that, the non-coms on Cybertron were trying to leave and get as much distance as they could from this war between the Autobots and Decepticons. But as we left off the last time, Grimlock and his fellow Dinobots, which have been exposed to this and actually been transformed, has finally revealed his terrifying alt mode. So this is chapter 9, called Unleashed. Story is by Chris Metzen and Flint Dilley. Art and cover by Livio Ramondelli. Letters by Tom B. Long and editor John Barber. Published in 2013.
The battle at the site of the Exodus is intensifying. Scorponok has dispatched a unit of Decepticons to the site of the Exodus led by Shockwave and Soundwave, for the sole purpose of fanning the flames of panic throughout the populace, while he engages his primary directive to plunge Cybertron into a survival of the fittest barren wasteland using the ancient evil weapon he is about to unleash. In Scorponok's eyes, only the strong should survive. What does the extremist Decepticon leader Scorponok plan to unleash? Meanwhile, Grimlock is wreaking havoc as he has transformed into his unstable but extremely powerful beast mode. Will anyone be left standing from the carnage dealt at the hands of Grimlock and Scorponok? Let's find out.
All right, so Cybertron Star Reach spaceport. Grimlock has fully formed into his beast mode, and he's basically destroying both Decepticons and Autobots. Here you've got Optimus trying to, talk him down, and everyone else looking like ragdolls. Looks like Blitzwing's already lost an arm.
Yeah, I don't think it showed that, did it?
No, I think it just kind of, last issue it just showed him roaring basically in the last panel.
I think it just it did lead off that last time. I think it's just trying to lead to the destruction that's just kind of happening right now. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. A lot of destruction in a very short time.
Yeah. So he's lobbed that one guy out the window. Crushed by a tail. Pretty damn big tail.
Yeah, that's right. Slag.
And Claw on... I'm not even sure if that's just a rando or what.
Is this that sea spray, is it? That kind of looks like it, maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, I was trying to identify them as well. But that's it does look like sea spray.
Yeah, it could be just a look-alike or something, but
all right, so Shockwave's trying to get a bead on him.
Yeah, because Scorponok sent them on like a diversion for what he's actually really doing for the most part.
Yeah, and he crunches this guy completely in half.
Shockwave here is just totally like, what?
Yeah. Trachum, didn't even phase him. He just lobbed shrapnel at him.
I think that's a rando too, the guy in red.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are they genderless? I said guy. I'm going to call him guy.
Yeah, technically they're genderless, but they actually cover that a little bit later, how they took on the form of male counterparts by default, but they're technically just genderless robots.
I remember we've talked about that before. Kind of what area does it go into that? Is it a specific comic? I know we're going to get to them all, but which one was it talking about? It had something to do with RC, right?
Yeah, it's Spotlight RC and then some other issues that kind of work around how RC became RC and G-Axis doing all his experiments. But yeah, a lot of it comes forth in Spotlight RC. So it looks like, okay, so we got several of them retreating. No, they're not retreating. They're coming in with extra people.
Yeah, I kind of was wondering why Blitzwing was on the main crew because Scorponok sent Shockwave and Soundwave, which in my eyes are actually are lieutenants. You know what I mean? The Decepticon army. And I noticed kind of in that scene, Scorponok was putting Blitzwing with them as well. And I don't really feel like he's a lieutenant. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe early on he is, but to me, he's never really felt like that.
Maybe he's just the muscle to escort him. I mean, even
Yeah,
if
I was thinking-
Shockwave doesn't like him, or I'm sorry, Scorponok
Yeah.
doesn't like Shockwave and Soundwave, I mean, they're vital no matter what. And Blitzwing's just tough as nails. So
I figure he's just a bruiser for him.
yeah,
He's Guido.
Mind you, we still haven't seen Megatron yet. In whole issue 8 we did, no Megatron there, so we're still waiting to see how all that plays out.
yep. So here you've got Prime holding Grimlock's mouth shut. After he's done tearing through all of that, that's how much power Prime has. He's able to latch on and just hold him.
Ramrod, when he was like, I don't want to have to hurt you, that almost sounds arrogant because of how powerful Grimlock is, and then they just show it right there. Just headlock right there, bro. Or
yeah, he's taking him down like Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
I mean,
He has
kind
a-
of secret, headlock to just, put him in, and doesn't matter how strong he is, he can't get out of it.
Yeah, look at this Cybertronian crocodile. I'm going to piss it right off.
oh man, I was gonna digress.
He successfully talks him down and he comes out of it and changes again. I don't know. That's for him to talk him down that quickly tells me that Grimlock has some level of control of at least coming back to his senses pretty quick. It's just, without someone being able to stop him. I guess maybe it's Prime holding on to him and making him stop and think real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna read this little section right here, but I got something to play off on that. Like right here, Grimlock says,
Now you see there is no cure for this curse. It can't be controlled.
and like you just said, it almost seems like maybe there is a little bit of awareness, but what makes me think that because Prime tries to say, look, we can work with you. You should stay with us. I have faith in you. I believe in you. It makes me wonder if when he killed his buddy, if that just keeps him from wanting to hurt anybody else, and that's what kind of stops him, because he does show restraint with Prime there.
Yeah. It's kind of almost like a juggernaut, He starts winding up and getting going and going and going, but if they're able to get him calmed down or stop him before he gets at full throttle, maybe he can be reverted back. Because I kind of wonder, is there going full primal on this? Like, if he were to stay in that mode for like 30 minutes to an hour just destroying stuff, would he ever be able to come back? Or is there like a lock that just changes him into that dragonish T-Rex mode permanently?
Probably be like the Hulk. There's nothing more to smash than, he goes somewhere quiet and calms down.
Yeah. Or would it be
That's-
like the Hulk from Thor 3, where he stayed the Hulk on that planet and he liked being there as the Hulk? Kind of a neat thing to think about.
Yeah.
And we know from previous comics that Cup actually filled Optimus in on the story of what happened with them when they were under Nominus's control. So once again, we see Cup here as the elder statesman with the wisdom.
So it looks like they did pick up Shockwave and Soundwave, probably Blitzwing as well.
They're being called to a new destination because Scorponok is about to reveal his intentions here coming up.
Yeah. So it looks like this is Ramjet talking. They're talking about going back to Calcular, and they're saying that no, they're not. They're going to the Taraxis crater.
Yeah, leave it right there for a second. We all know that Shockwave has a very dry personality. It kind of not as dry as Soundwave, but right here it says
Scorponok's ordered all available units to reroute and converge on the Taraxis crater.
and Shockwave says,
Curious, what reason could he have for summoning us there? Word is he found something he wants us to see, something big.
and then Shockwave says,
A hole the size of his presumption? No doubt.
and then Soundwave says,
Humor detected. Conclusion, amusing.
Yeah, I think they just get each other.
Yep.
Soundwave seems a lot more drier personality than Shockwave, but definitely what Ramrod said right there. Definitely like they almost are like similar like that.
Yep.
So back at Star's Reach, it looks like we have Optimus is trying to talk Grimlock into staying because he's getting ready to haul ass and get out of there because he doesn't want to hurt anybody else anymore. But Prime does not have any luck, and that's when the Dinobots kind of realize that Optimus Prime is not like all the other corrupt primes that have come before him. Like right here, he says,
Cup was right. You aren't like the other primes. It would have been an honor to serve under you, sir.
and then they leave. I think you get the kind of feeling that it's almost like a somber type feeling from Optimus right here. Because as much as I say this comic is, in my opinion, that's just me. I think it's one big story of Megatron with a ton of other stuff in there. But since we've started after Origins, we've really picked up on Pax's story and Optimus Prime's story. We're kind of going through the growth of Prime right now, whereas we went through the growth of Pax. So I just kind of got the feeling like in this panel down here at the bottom that he's just kind of bummed out a little bit that he could not, keep them staying because they are. I think he could have helped them understand themselves, maybe.
Yeah, it's like he's taken on the entire responsibility of what's happening to these people when in reality he's basically been given this crap deal of that he's got to pick up the pieces afterward of the mess that the previous primes and their administrations have made of Cybertron, because it was them that actually pushed Megatron into what being how he is now. So yeah, you'll see a little bit more of that too, I think.
Makes you feel like Optimus feels he's the only one that has any kind of hope and that he's the one holding up any kind of hope for anyone. He finds out the Senate is corrupt. He's not able to talk Megatron out of everything that Megatron's done. He's not able to stop Zeta from destroying everything Zeta destroyed. Now he's a prime and he's not able to stop everyone from evacuating the planet after the Decepticons are destroying everything. And now he's losing the Dinobots. So he's been fighting a losing battle this entire comic book series.
When I watch these, I definitely feel like that. It's almost like, man, do they ever get a break? Is there ever any, personal victory? Is there ever any peace? And you know what I mean? This is just one big battle for how many cycles? They're not on the same time frame as us. Millions of cycles.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere I came across some box art. You know how they always had a quote for each character on the back? And I think it was Gears that I happened to see, and he said, nobody ever wins wars. There's only losers. And that's kind of what it makes me think about.
Yeah, I remember going back to when we were doing Megatron Origins, and I first started off, and I remember people in the chat, people were commenting, wow, this is very similar to what we go through. It is. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like we dumped off into fantasy here and fiction, but it doesn't matter who you are. Everybody goes through hard times, and everybody's got something going on, man.
Yeah, and some of the best stories always include um, timeless problems, stuff that we come across every day. If you look at like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, both of them, like what Transformers is dealing with, end up being basically political battlegrounds that end up in warfare. There's just always something like that. And I think that's what makes good stories attractive, is because we can they appeal to our nature.
Specs we can identify with.
Yeah.
Yeah, a touch of humanity. Anytime you can relate with anything, especially a story, you're definitely going to, enjoy it. So right here, they show the Decepticons returning back to the Traxxas crater, and I remember you showing in one of the last shows we did just how big of a hole it blew in that planet, because there was an image back. I don't remember if it was 2 or 3 issues ago, but you could see the planet and that hole it left. So that's
Yeah.
where they're heading at right now.
Yeah, it looked like basically Earth with a moon-sized hole in it.
Yeah.
It was big.
What is the meaning of this, Scorponok? We have suffered a very vexing defeat. What possible business could we have here? Patience, Shockwave. All will be revealed.
Scorponok continues on with his jargon here.
Looking at the jets, they're bombing everything in the back there. If you notice, they're making a lot of noise.
Oh, okay. Because I kind of think this really puts into place the attitude of Scorponok opposed to what Megatron had. Like right here, he says,
The attack on the spaceport was merely to fan the flames of panic throughout the populace, to show them that there is no escape from what I'm about to unleash.
It seems like, again here that he has no grand plan. His plan is simply anarchy, and here again is just, hey, there's this big monster in this pit. We're gonna set him free. This is not something he planned. This just happened. Oh, hey, I got this opportunity. I'm going to cause some trouble. So, yeah.
100% agreed. He's, you can say what you can about Megatron, but he is not a leader. That's for sure.
Yep. He just wants to watch the world burn.
That's when something starts happening here, and Cybertron starts having these seismic rumbles here.
So in there you can see what looks like, Tryptocon.
This panel at the very bottom, didn't we see earlier? Looks like it's some kind of writing on the wall. Because remember how Scorponok somehow, how did he figure out a way to wake him up? That's what I don't understand.
Well, that's what I believe the jets were doing, is they're bombing Tryptocon, trying to wake him up.
They're trying to slap him awake. That's what they're
Yeah.
doing.
But I always wondered if this is real Cybertronian writing, if it actually meant anything. I don't know when they officially decided on writing things in Cybertronian like they did with the Siege Line toys, but it'd be interesting if this actually says something in Cybertronian. But you can see the lights going out on it.
That's right here. He says,
That this world will never be the same. You are witnessing the dawning of a new era, where the Decepticons' ideal survival of the fittest will reign for 1,000 generations.
like you just said, Ramrod and Briag, he just wants to watch the world burn. For some reason, he thinks he's the toughest motherfucker around. And I don't know why he thinks he is, but I can think of a few other ones in this series that are a lot more badass than he is.
I think he understands what the Decepticon ideal is. I think he has a mental, image of what it is, but I don't think he really understands.
It'd be
Yeah.
interesting to watch him try to go toe to toe with Shockwave after you see some stuff later.
Shockwave ain't to be fucked with, dude. Shockwave will get it. And
Yeah.
in the IDW continuity, Shockwave is not to be messed with.
Yep.
And here we see it kind of pan down. You can see the awakening.
The eye wakes up. and looks like he's getting up because that looks like maybe his leg panel.
Yeah. You didn't notice how heavy of a beast monster form like this series has had with the zombie monster world of Junkion and then the beast forms of the Dinobots. Now you got this. And there it is. Like we saw in the last issue, we saw them all curled up there. This is the awakening of Tryptocon. To be continued. So, in my opinion, I still think Monstrosity brings it. I think it's a really good issue, and the story arc is really good.
I really liked how they broke everything down into these smaller issues that are only like 10 pages long. So they seem to get to the point a lot quicker than some of the longer comics do. I don't know, just kind of like those bite-sized chunks of things you can read. Kind of fulfilling, like almost like reading the daily paper back in the day when you were a kid. You'd read the comics or something.
Yeah, it really distills it down into a short but good story. The way they did these issues.
Yeah,
I do enjoy the shortness of them.
I think it also, with it being so precise on what it's showing you, things that it's not showing you leaves to your imagination. So, like, for instance, we know Hot Rod's been introduced and he came from Nyon and all the stuff that happened with Zeta. I mean, you could only imagine what Hot Rod's doing right now at this moment. So they don't show it, but you could probably get an idea. He's probably somewhere in Nyon doing something.
Yeah, that is something that should be talked about because when you go through even when you're watching a TV series, or a long comic story like this, you'll forget a lot of times where you were, who did what. So that's good that you brought that up with Hot Rod. There's so many things that have already gone on, like the journey of Pax, the continuous journey of Megatron, the different characters that have already been introduced, Blur, Alpha Trion, Cup, Ironhide, all those guys, definitely Hot Rod. But that is a good point to think about, where is Hot Rod? Because it's autocracy that it introduced us to Hot Rod.
Yeah,
supposedly,
pretty big
he
in
was-
hypocrisy.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a big integral part. The Decepticons want him on his side. So it will be interesting when he comes back again. So that's all I got for the discussion part. Anything else you guys got?
No,
That's it.
Everyone, thanks for watching. And we're going to be out. Boo!